In this lesson, we will address the topic of how to develop the PLC program. Like PC-based programming, you need to follow a process to create your PLC program. It can start by defining the variables, identifying the necessary tasks and functions, then design the structure for the program, and finally implementing the code. By completing this lesson, you would be able to understand and describe variable declaration and tag tables, application tasks breakdown, PLC program structure, and modular programming with function blocks. Declaring variables is the first step in developing a program for any computer-based system, and PLCs are no exception. Variables are referred to as tags in the PLC environment. The most common type of tag is the name that you can assign to an input or output channel. These tags are global and you can access them across the entire application. However, the name of these tags should be unique. Other than the I/O tags, you may use internal tags that are called inside each program module and are only alive within that code block. Global tags are defined in the form of tables, and for each you need to specify a data type and add an optional description in the comment section. You can organize your application tags into multiple tables. For example, one table for analog input tags and another one for digital output tags. The main benefit of tag-based PLC program is the independence from hardware addresses. That means, for example, if the input channel associated with the start tag fails, you can simply rewire the signal to another empty channel on the same card or even another module and just assign the start tag to the new channel. There is no need to do any change in the program. Program only cares about the tag and not the physical address. These days, most PLC software packages offer the feature of tag tables, import, export, and copy-paste. With that, you can simply edit the tag table in the Microsoft Excel, save it as a separate file, and share it with another application. This feature is a real time saver, especially when you have repeat projects. A popular practical method to design the structure of your PLC application is breaking the application into tasks. We can consider a task as the smallest executable program unit. For example, in our bottling machine, the main functional tasks are loading an empty bottle, dosing process, and then unloading the filled bottle. However, we can identify some other tasks that may not be visible in the first place, such as recipe management, alarm and messaging, error handling, and reset procedure. You also need a task to implement the sequence by integrating other tasks. The task breakdown model is opposed to developing the whole code in one big program module. In this model, it is much easier to troubleshoot, update, and test the code units. So, it is recommended to make this a habit in your programming style. Another important point in your program architecture design is to identify and define how each task has to be executed with respect to CPU cycles. As you may remember from PLC code execution in Lesson 5, each PLC offers a variety of cycle types that each used for a different scenario. We will dive into some typical scenarios here. Some tasks need to be executed only during machine startup, like variable initialization and homing functions. You will call program associated with these tasks in the CPU startup cycles. Depends on your application, you may have some high priority tasks that if delayed or interrupted by other tasks, PLC system may fault, stop, or lose the quality. An example would be high-speed motion controls and PIDs. Every PLC offers suitable cycles to program these type of tasks. Most of the tasks fall into a standard category, like sequential logics, interlocks, alarm and error handling, and recipe management. And once in a while, you may have a task that needs to be activated after a certain period of time, such as maintenance functions. A good example is oil recovery after 1000 hours. This task could be triggered either by time or operator request. To get a better understanding of task types, you can apply this analytic model to your next application. Function blocks are a very popular topic in PLC programming. To understand what a function block is and how it is used, let's review the following scenario. If you have developed a piece of code to control an element such as a motor, what will you do if you have multiple motors? The simplest way is to copy-paste the code for each motor and change the tag names and variables. However, this would be a very inefficient solution, especially if the number of tags and motor counts goes up, and you may end up with a very bulky code. The worst part is when you realize something needs to be updated in the code. Then you have to repeat the same tedious work again. To address these issues, it is better to cast your code in a framework called function block. In this format, you will encapsulate the control logic into a block with parameterized inputs and outputs. With this model, the block that has been created only once can be used multiple times, each time with a new set of tags. To handle the inputs, outputs, and internal variables of the function block, with every block call, a piece of memory, which is referred to as an instance, will be automatically assigned by the CPU. With this trick, an update to the function block code will be applied only once, since the code block and instance are separate objects. For some advanced control concepts, like PID, you may find a library of function blocks in your PLC software tool. Most often, these blocks are protected against changes and are provided with an input-output description and an operation manual. For some other control topics, such as motion control, there are globally accepted standards developed by international entities like PLC Open. In this particular context, the method to enable, move, stop, and reset a position-controlled axis has been implemented in form of a function block library. Part of the PLC learning curve is to know, understand, and practice with the function blocks that can improve the quality of your application. In some special machinery and industries, like plastic injection, you may come across function block libraries with special know-how that are licensed, and you need to pay thousands of dollars to use them.